An ambitious new free shooter hits open beta. Reviews are in for the Five Nights at Freddy's movie and the guy that remade Skyrim in Age of Empires 2. I'm Ash Dixon and this is GINX News. Free-to-play shooters are kind of an oversaturated market right now, and considering Sega's Hyenas got cancelled very recently, the optics for new releases isn't exactly looking great. However, that hasn't stopped Embark Studios from kicking off the open beta for their upcoming game, The Finals. So why should you care? Well, players have been dabbling into the closed playtest for over a year now, and a lot of people are getting excited about the destructible environment. The time to kill is also quite high comparatively, which puts emphasis on setting up engagements to your advantage. And there's some true magic going on behind the scenes to allow all the synchronized destruction, though this has led to some complaints that the fast-paced movement can feel floaty at times. However, people will be hoping some of those issues will be addressed for the open beta, and considering how adrenaline-fueled the movement is, I imagine this might be one for the fans of games like Titanfall 2. Let us know down in the comments what you think and whether you plan to give it a go. Earlier this week, Nintendo decided to drop new community guidelines that seem to enrage absolutely everyone. Check out yesterday's video, somewhere in the description, for the download on that one. However, since then, people have been digging deeper into the wall of text, and it seems things are only getting worse. That's because disabled streamer Arevia, apologies if I pronounced that wrong, has pointed out that Nintendo's new rules completely ban the use of third-party controllers. Now, that might make sense if you want to stop people using modded controllers that give them an unfair advantage, but a blanket ban is completely unreasonable considering some players need custom control setups to actually take part. And the controllers people can use to participate are super diverse, from ones operated with your feet, a straw you blow on to move your character, or even just custom molds that make the official Nintendo controllers more comfortable to use. Now, I don't think Nintendo have gone out of their way to screw over their disabled fanbase, but I think it points to two things. One is just how unnecessarily overbearing these guidelines are in general, but second is just how often accessibility seems to be an afterthought. It must be so tiring for the community to have to constantly remind gaming companies that they actually exist. And some devs have really upped their game in this area recently, so there really is no excuse. Either way, the guidelines have clearly upset a ton of people. Whether that's enough to make Nintendo change things, well, we'll just have to wait and see. We're starting to get some more details on the new optional disc drive coming to PlayStation 5, and there's been some confusion around the requirement to have an internet connection to make it work. It all kicked off with some leaked images of a supposed upcoming Modern Warfare 3 Slim bundle that was from Charlie Intel over on X. Well, another user took a closer look at the text, and it seems to read internet connection required to pair disc drive. And this immediately turned some heads, because if there's one thing we know gamers don't like, it's always online requirements. Well, in this case, it seems you only need a connection while actually pairing the disc drive to the console, and it's likely an attempt to prevent piracy. Either way, both the new PS5 model and the detachable disc drive will be available later this year. The long-awaited Five Nights at Freddy's movie finally came out last night, and I'll be honest, I was pretty excited about it. The game's creator Scott Cawthon might be a MAGA weirdo, but you'd think his involvement in the development of the movie would be a good sign. Well, apparently not. I really should have known, because it's a film 10 years in the making, and one that went through a fair few changes. It started out as a Warner Brothers production, but it seems like they didn't get along with Cawthon, so it then went to Blumhouse. They convinced Harry Potter and Home Alone director Chris Columbus to take the reins, but Cawthon threw the original script in the trash and started from scratch, which obviously made Columbus abandon the project. It then got its final director, Emma Tammy, who had previously directed The Wind and Fairchase. Nope, I haven't heard of them either. Well, the reviews are in, and it should probably come as no surprise that it's not looking very good. The Independent has called it a bloodless, generic take on a horror video game sensation. Variety accused it of being listless and repetitive, while The Telegraph says it promises chills but delivers yawns. Takes one to know one. Now, I should stress that all of the authors are movie reviewers and may not have played the game, but as game adaptations like The Last of Us have proved, it is possible to please fans of the game and newcomers alike. I mean, some reviewers have even said that the Nick Cage film, Willy's Wonderland, which is accused of being a Five Nights at Freddy's ripoff, is actually the better movie. I'll leave it up to you guys to decide which animatronic baddie movie is best, but at the end of the day, you're probably better off just playing the game. You know what? I want to bring back something we haven't seen for a while here on GINX News. It's time for Creation Corner, and today we're heading over to Age of Empires 2. One very dedicated Redditor has spent a year recreating Skyrim in Age of Empires 2, the definitive edition over on Steam. Grouchy Blue Jay 4511, who'd rather go by their in-game name of Bubba Baylor, says the mod has 50 plus quests, 100 unique characters, and you can play as one of the holds vying for control of Skyrim. No wonder it took so long, that's a very hefty mod. But the origins of this vast undertaking actually began even earlier, as Bubba Baylor started his journey after seeing that another modder called Zarko had started to create a Skyrim map, but just never finished it. Bubba said, "My map is brand new, it's size giant, and if you go back and look at his map, you can see everything in mine is different. All my spawns, uniques, dragonborn triggers, control points, etc. are my own triggers as well." As you can see, an incredible amount of detail has gone into the recreation, so keep an eye out on the Skyrim subreddit because it looks like Bubba's journey is very nearly there. And that's the show. A big thanks to you for tuning in. Hit us up with a like and subscribe. Catch up on yesterday's headline somewhere around here, and we'll see you tomorrow.